Welcome.
To this video. We really,
we need to work on this.
We've been doing this for 2.5 years, and we still haven't figured out an intro that we can always do.
No,
we
we
had
don't.
one, and then we cut that part of the show.
Yes.
And let's face it, screaming "Good morning" at the same time with neither of us having good pitch sounded real bad on that camera.
It was also not the best quality camera, so it's not.
Yeah, that's also true.
Forget about that one. Well, welcome to this. It's a small mini series.
We're gonna be doing
small-ish. I don't know.
Smallish.
It's a month long.
7, 8 videos.
It's probably gonna be 8 videos.
8 videos.
If you can tell by the title of this video, we're gonna talk Marvel,
specifically Phase 1 Marvel.
Yeah. So in this video, yes, our plan is we're gonna go through every single Marvel Cinematic Universe movie, leading up to Avengers Infinity War.
Right.
I think it's a good thing because we can refresh ourselves in what the hell happened.
Kind of catch up on the timeline.
Yeah.
And also, fair warning, there are a few movies in the MCU that I have not seen. One of them is actually going to be talked in this video.
Okay. And then there's there's some that just we've seen way too long ago.
Yeah, and there's way back in, the back of my head, it's like, oh yeah, I remember that part now.
But Mr. Shirt, we're going to be able to talk properly about the movies that we cared about.
Right.
The good stuff.
The good ones.
So, I mean, if we don't have much to say about a movie, it's because there really wasn't anything too important in it. Really?
Thor 2. What?
Oh, no, there's a few in this video, so...
Oh, yeah. No, I'm just future-proofing this.
Do you want to get started?
Should we? Yeah, we should probably get started.
Iron Man.
Hey, do you have a list that has like?
I know the movies in order.
All right, so you are the list.
Yes, I am the list. I can tell you the order of the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies, but if you ask me anything about my classes, the list of things I have to memorize, I would know nothing.
Yeah, no, anything important like exam materials? Nah, not
no. But like Marvel Cinematic Universe movies, Zelda games, I can give you everything off the top of my head like this. It's kind of sad.
But hey, let's not go for an hour and a half this time around, all right?
Yes.
So let's stay on topic.
So
number 1.
We started in 2008 with Iron Man,
which was a movie that I saw on a plane in 2009. So that's been 9 years for me. I don't remember a whole lot from it.
I watched Iron Man. I remember my first watch of Iron Man because that was the first time I went into a VIP theater with reclinable seats and food services and everything. It was amazing. Like I will never forget watching Iron Man on the big screen. And it was also a great movie. I mean, Iron Man is I think it holds up so well. I think it can really stand up against some of the newer movies. Also, it has a very it talks about themes and things that happened that were very important at the time that are somewhat still relevant today. Like terrorism and
terrorists and
weapons and all that stuff. Which, if you've seen world news today, still important.
Yeah, still going on.
Still a thing happening.
Which is great for us. Not at all. But yeah. Thematically, or in movie, I guess. I don't know whatever you call it. Starts off, Tony Stark, the douchebag that he is building weapons in the Middle East.
Mm-hmm.
Does a demonstration of a new
missile
thing. I don't remember the name for it. And then gets blown up by his own missiles and kidnapped by terrorists.
Yep, exactly.
That's just.
He was kidnapped by terrorists. He finds a doctor, gets
a primitive arc reactor implanted.
Then he works on a arc reactor that would work and keep him alive for much longer. And says, you know what? I can build an Iron Man suit. He didn't say, I'm going to build an Iron Man suit, but
it was more
basically built an Iron Man suit.
Yeah, I mean, so the terrorists kidnapped him to build a missile for him, right?
Yeah, to build weapons that they would use against, America.
America, basically, yeah. And he's like, screw that noise. I'm going to build a giant, bulletproof suit that I can escape with.
Yeah.
He gets found out. Dr. Man dies. Rest in peace, Doctor I don't remember the name of. And then he kicks ass in a giant hulking suit, not to be confused with the Hulkbuster suit.
That's for another movie.
That's from something else. It's just a very large and clunky, uh,
Iron Man version 1, basically.
yeah, V1, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go with that. Kicks some ass, blows some people up, shoots someone else. I don't actually remember. Did it have guns on it, or was it just like the missiles?
He had that big one had flamethrowers.
That's what
So
it was.
he literally just walks out of the cave and just lights people
Just
on fire.
Roasted. I don't think it had a jetpack too or something, right? It had some kind of like propulsion.
Yeah, it has some propulsion, and he manages to like get out of the desert with that thing. Sees Pepper Potts again. He's
Yada yada yada.
has his nice life. He's like, I don't want to build weapons anymore because they kill people. What a surprise! Weapons kill people.
And all I knew is water is wet.
And
then Stain takes over Stark Industries, right?
Exactly.
At some point,
he wants to take over Stark Industries. I mean, he took it over while Tony Stark was away. So he takes over, and he knows Tony wants kind of the company back. He wants to destroy all the weapon stuff. He's like, well, no, I want the weapon stuff because that makes me a lot of money. So he tries to get the Ironmonger suit. Well, what we know now as the Ironmonger suit.
right?
And tries to fight Iron Man with it. Also, by the way, he was frustrated that he couldn't get an arc reactor to work. He was being told this by a lot of the brightest minds in the world. He's like, Tony Stark was able to build this in a cave with scraps.
And you can't do it with state of the art technology and machinery.
Exactly.
Brilliant.
Very smart people.
Right, yeah.
Tony Stark should just be his only employee.
I mean, honestly, like Tony Stark we've seen after Stark Industries exits the weapons business, he basically builds everything on his own anyway. So it's like, who fucking cares?
Yeah. And basically, like at the end, he beats Ironmonger using a weakness that he saw in his suit the first time he flied that was not covered in that old suit. Right. So he uses that, freezes the man to death, dies, and then he tells the world he's Iron Man.
Against the wishes of people like Nick Fury and S.H.I.E.L.D. and, just kind of does his own thing like, what's up, I'm Iron Man.
Yeah, and that's, that would anger, like I could just imagine like Batman and Superman just looking at that and like, you did what?
Well, it's a good thing they're in a different universe.
Exactly.
The one that's on fire over in the corner. The one that we're not talking about today.
Back in the day, the Dark Knight, the Dark Knight was that year, so it's like, can't.
Right, yeah.
They weren't on fire yet.
Right. Didn't Iron Man 2 start off with like him dropping into a stadium and like going like, "What's up, I'm Iron Man"?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah. So what was important about Iron Man? It kicked off the universe. We got our first hero in Tony Stark, the first hero that we know of, at least.
Right.
And at the very end, back when we didn't know after credit sequences were a standard, we saw Nick Fury in Stark Manor basically telling Tony Stark, you're part of a bigger universe. You just don't know it yet.
Yeah,
and that sent
and that
the
started
nerds a frenzy. They're
10
like,
years.
Are we gonna get an Avengers movie? Oh my gosh, we might get an Avengers movie.
All right, let's back that up a little bit. No one at that point went, "Oh my god, Avengers." Everyone went, "Oh yes, more Marvel." Right? We didn't because the Avengers wasn't super well known before. I mean, it happened, right?
Yeah,
those were comics that existed in the 80s.
Yeah, the 60s even.
Back in the day.
I think the first Avengers comic was in the 60s. And
Avengers.
It's important to know, like, Iron Man was a huge success. It, like, blew up. I remember, like, I didn't know who Tony Stark and Iron Man were before I watched Iron Man. And after that movie, everybody knew Iron Man. Iron Man was suddenly part of the big heroes, with probably not at the level of Spider-Man or like Batman yet, but he was getting up there,
right,
for like the first time. And yeah, this movie was just so.
First Avengers was 63, so yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So I mean, like they're being forgotten in favor of other heroes like Spider-Man,
Which
Batman, Superman,
the X-Men,
X-Men.
the X-Men were hugely popular back
Hell,
then.
I mean, to a degree, like the Fantastic Four, not the movies, maybe.
No, the comics, yeah.
Well, like they definitely they had a TV show on I think Nicktoons that I remember watching. Something like Avengers were not very well known.
Yeah, I know. Like, and
then Iron Man happened.
It's funny because, back in the day, like in the comics kind of era, right? Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, X-Men. Those were your Marvel heroes.
Right.
Yeah, people knew the Hulk, people knew Captain America, but they were not like as well known as some of the other ones.
Right. Yeah. If you went back to say 2003 and asked me, my young 6-year-old self, whatever, who is the most popular superhero, I would have probably said like Spider-Man, Batman. Yeah. Maybe I would have mentioned the Hulk, but that would have been like one of those things of like, oh yeah, and there's also that Hulk movie where some ripped dude was painted green. Not the CGI actual Hulk that we have. It's just some guy who's green.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's but yeah, this movie changed a lot and
kicked it all off.
It's still great. Like if you haven't watched Iron Man yet, just watch Iron Man. It's because it holds up really well.
I mean, Iron Man is the best part of everything that he shows up in these days. When he was in Civil War, he was the best part. The Avengers, he's the best part. Fucking, excuse me.
He was even good in Homecoming. He was there for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, he showed up twice, and he was one of the best parts in Homecoming. So it's like, honestly, just watch the movies where he's the main focus, and you have a good time.
Also, appreciation. The moment Robert Downey Jr. Took the mantle of Tony Stark and Iron Man in the movies, he took the mantle in real life.
Yeah, no, like that man was made to play Tony Stark.
It's like that. He just. I don't think he's Robert Downey Jr. anymore. He's just Tony Stark all day, honestly, every day.
Yeah. I mean, if you go back and like look at illustrations of Tony Stark from the 60s or 70s, they look like Robert Downey Jr. Like that man was made to play. He was born to play Tony Stark. It's just it's
amazing.
That
yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So we're gonna break in Iron Man. So that same year, a couple of months later, we got the Incredible Hulk, which. You saying people like, oh my gosh, more Marvel. People didn't show up to see this one nearly as much. But I think that's more of the it's another Hulk movie. Oh, yeah, it's another man.
The one before that was
the same thing. I think the Ang Lee Hulk.
Yeah, which was not great. So people were like, oh, more of that. But no, we have the new Marvel management Hulk.
Now, just to note. This is not the Mark Ruffalo Hulk that we know now. This was Edward Norton's Hulk, which was supposed to be part of the universe, but he didn't end up being. He was replaced by Mark Ruffalo for the Avengers and onwards.
Which one was that? Huh? Do we know? Why did he get replaced by Mark Ruffalo?
I forgot. I think I really forgot. Like I remember there's a reason and it was out there, but I just can't remember what it was.
I'm sure someone will tell us.
Yeah. So. I like the Hulk movie because, like, as a kid, I watched the Hulk animated series.
There was a Hulk animated series?
There was a Hulk animated. Yeah, there's animated series for basically everything.
Well, fair enough. Yeah. I never watched it.
So there was a series, and, so I recognized all the characters. I recognized his love interest. I recognized General Ross.
Or at the time, was he General or was he...
He was, I think he was just General. He was General at the time. He became Secretary of State by Civil War.
Right, yeah.
Which that's one hell of a promotion.
Going from general to secretary of state, like, man, really climbing the ranks there over 6 years.
Yeah, for sure.
Something like that.
Now, there's something interesting about the Incredible Hulk. So this movie, I mean, we got the story. We know how Bruce Banner became the Hulk. The gamma rays stuff,
gamma ray explosion. Yeah, things happened. Right. Yeah.
Now, there's two characters that I'm very interested in that. The MCU hasn't acknowledged yet, but they still have them, like because they appeared there and they're still alive. That is Abomination, which was the
anti-Hulk,
basically the anti-Hulk.
Yeah, because their version of Doomsday.
Yeah, basically, which still looks better visual effects wise than Doomsday in 2008.
Which we rip on DC enough here. Let's move on from that for a while.
Just saying.
But anyways,
you're not wrong. So they have that character, and he's still alive, right?
Right.
Um, so they could still use that character, and they also teased a guy getting the gamma ray stuff done on his brain, and you could see like there was a small part where like the veins on his brain were like kind of growing, and that's a whole character, that instead of being like super strong, he's like super smart.
I'm not familiar with them.
He was in the animated series, so that's why for me it was like an instant click. It was like, oh, it's
Gotcha.
that guy.
Okay.
Don't ask me the name of it anymore, but
Right. Yeah.
that character. So it's like they have these two characters in the universe, just sitting there.
I mean, it's nice to have an ace in the hole, right? Like they can pull those out whenever they want.
Yeah. Also, General Ross, now Secretary of State Ross,
Right.
in the comics, ultimately becomes the Red Hulk.
Right.
So if they want more Hulk, there's.
I mean, yeah. Again, it's nice to have like those characters in reserve, so that if they ever need to pull them out, they're like, "Hey, we have these from 10 years ago." Like, if those guys show up in Infinity War, I wouldn't be super surprised.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it will happen because
I mean, it will
there's
never
plenty of
happen.
characters already. But yeah, like the Incredible Hulk, like, I think it was a fun movie. I enjoyed it. You didn't watch it, right?
I didn't watch The Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
I skipped on that
Like I enjoyed it. I had fun with it, and I think the thing that made me super excited, and why I loved it so much was because when I walked out, I mean, right before when the movie was ending, after credit sequence, we see General Ross talking to Tony Stark. Um,
one. Okay.
because he wants to like know more about this like Hulk guy, and I was just like ecstatic. I was like, oh my god, they're bringing like Iron Man and the Hulk together. This is like the coolest thing. Oh my gosh, I would love to see like an Iron Man versus Hulk fight, or have like the Hulk get like an Iron Man armor and just wreck. That would be amazing. Like that was like my head like when I saw that scene. Funny enough, I think we've gotten some of that. We've actually seen some of those things come to fruition at some point.
Right.
Not
Yeah.
in the Avengers, not in Iron Man 2, but later on in the universe. And I just thought that was like the coolest thing. I didn't really make the connection of, oh my gosh, we could have a really big superhero universe here. It was just like, oh, these two characters are in the same universe. That's about it,
Right. Yeah.
right? So yeah, that was Incredible Hulk. I really enjoyed it. Again, there's some things there left for the universe to use at some point, but it's still really fun to watch. And Edward Norton was a really good Bruce Banner. I think I like Mark Ruffalo better now, but
I mean, Mark Ruffalo. I feel like part of that's kind of.
we've watched him in like so many
we've
movies
seen
at this point.
more of Ruffalo, so like we're conditioned to like him more just because of that. And I mean, Norton wasn't bad by any means.
No. He was
I mean-
really good. He played the character really well. So that's exciting. The next movie on the list
Was it Captain America?
It was no. It
No?
was Iron Man 2. It was Iron Man 2.
Oh, right, yeah.
Because Iron Man was a huge success, so like we gotta fast track that sequel. You gotta
Yeah, really. Yeah, you gotta really get it out quickly while people still remember.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember it was good this time,
and
and it was great.
it was good.
Now, what happened in the second one again?
The-
Aside from him eating donuts in a giant donut and showing up and going, "What up, I'm Iron Man," while a bunch of girls dressed as him dance around, I don't remember a whole lot else from that movie.
I mean, it's just like he had the awesome entrance during Stark Expo.
Right.
Just like
And
hello bitches, I'm Iron Man.
yeah, right. And I really, aside from, I don't remember a whole lot of the words. Wow,
well,
that
this
all
was
fell.
also the movie where he got drunk and pissed on the Iron Man suit inside the Iron Man suit. This is also the movie where where they recasted War Machine. Not War Machine. What's his name?
No, yeah, I think it was,
No, it's
it
War
was
Machine.
War Machine,
Rhodes. Rhodey.
Yeah, Rhodey.
Yeah.
Rhodey got recast.
Yeah, Rhodey got recast.
And
it-
I mean,
There was. I'm trying to remember what else happened in this movie. See, the thing is, Iron Man 2 was such a setup for the Avengers, right? That, because it introduced Black Widow,
yeah,
right? And Tony Stark got introduced to Black Widow in the pervy way.
Of course.
Ooh, yeah. I mean, let me look this girl up.
yikes.
He would not fare well in 2018 if he were to do that.
Nope. Times have changed, my friend.
Anyway, Scarlett Johansson kicked ass.
I mean, yeah.
And she was really hot. I'm not afraid to say she was really hot.
I mean, Scarlett Johansson is.
She still is.
She's a very good looking woman.
Yeah.
And I mean, she handles Black Widow, very well. I will say I kind of do wish it was a long haired Black Widow. I'm not against a short hair Black Widow though.
Where did she get? Like in the Winter Soldier?
In the in Winter I mean in the there was that Avengers animated series for a while where she had her long hair, and I mean in the comic she had long hair. I would have liked to have seen that, but I'm not against.
I mean, to be fair, right? Like
hair.
long hair, it's not practical.
It's not, but I mean it's just what she usually has.
Yeah, so we got Black Widow, we got a lot more of Nick Fury, so it's kind of like, hey, Stark, we would like to introduce you to this initiative, but like, boy, you make it difficult for us to like you sometimes.
Right.
Here's a cure for your arc reactor poisoning disease that you clearly have on your body right now. Also, you might want to get a new arc reactor because that one you have right now, gonna kill you someday.
Yep. I mean, all right. So did they ever? I'm trying to remember. Did they ever actually get the shards out of his heart?
Yes. For understand, yes.
Okay.
And
because I mean, he doesn't have an arc reactor in his chest anymore.
No.
Which I imagine is
that was shown in Iron Man 3.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, but in this one, he basically had to make. He was trying to find out a new thing he could use.
Right.
And so he was watching a video of his father during one of the expo things, but he basically just said "Hey, look at this version of Disneyland, this dark Disneyland that I have right here. There's a secret ingredient to make an element in here," and he just takes the model of the of Stark Expo that his father had, blows it up, and suddenly finds a new element.
What the fuck?
And makes it.
I don't remember that part of the movie.
Oh, trust me, this movie makes no sense.
Of course it doesn't.
It was a cash grab if there's ever been one. I mean, there's been plenty.
I mean there's been plenty of those.
It's this was a cash grab movie. It was we need to bank on Iron Man, so it's let's make him make a new element. And he makes a new element by putting Captain America. He used Captain America's shield as something just to make more bulk, so things would be on the same size. We saw Captain America's shield for the first time there.
Right, yeah, which was also one of the things they were kind of teasing, hey, Captain America exists.
Yeah. So basically at the end we got Iron Man, we got War Machine now working with him, and they fight an army of Iron Man suits. The end. Oh, Whiplash is in too.
Oh, and Whiplash happened, yeah.
Yeah.
Which Whiplash was kind of disappointing as a villain because I remember watching the 3D cell shaded Iron Man TV show at the time, right, on Nicktoons. Which again, Nicktoons. I was watching a lot of Nicktoons at that time. And Whiplash was kind of like a recurring villain, and he was a badass in the show. And then in the movie, he's a bit of a pushover comparatively.
I'm angry Russian. Where's my bird?
Yeah, so it's I was a little disappointed that happened. As it's sad life when character reduced to angry Russian. And I just remember thinking man, this guy is not great.
Nope. No. And to be fair, you could tell that Iron Man 2 is not that memorable given by our extensive.
I don't remember the whole element thing kind of disappeared. The arc. I remember Pepper had reached into his chest and pull out.
Yeah, to pull
parts.
something out. Yeah.
I remember that happening. And then the most memorable thing from that movie for me is him showing up to the expo thing with the rockets.
That was pretty awesome.
Which I mean, it's a great cinematic scene, but it's it offers nothing to the actual story of the movie.
Yeah.
Which is to say, not to say that the movie actually has a good story or anything.
But that was Iron Man.
I mean, that one was kind of a blow off. If you haven't seen that one, you're kind of.
And then at the very end of the movie, at the after credits, we got the name drop. I would like you to join the Avengers initiative.
Right.
They say Avengers for the first time.
Yeah.
which again put everyone in
Which
frenzy.
this time I understand when people got in a frenzy about Avengers, because now it's like holy shit,
Now
the
it's like,
actual
yeah.
Avengers happened.
Although I think they told him it's like, yeah, but no, you know what? No, we were gonna put you in the Avengers Initiative, but you are egotistical and narcissist, and you're
Liability.
not in liability. You're not a good fit for this. So, no.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Yeah, just move it out of here. Um, and that's all we heard until we saw Thor.
Which this should be a movie that I know everything about, and I really don't know a whole lot about, because I don't remember a whole lot from it, honestly. I remember two very important scenes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thor gets cast out of Asgard. His hammer falls to Earth, makes a crater except for the exact spot where it landed, so it's on a pedestal, which looks cool but doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I like this drink. Another crash. Aside from those two parts, I really don't remember a whole lot. There was that weird love interest that was happening, which, thank God they didn't bring her back for... Oh no, wait, they did bring her back. Shit.
For Ragnarok?
For
She
the
wasn't
second
there.
one.
She wasn't there in Ragnarok. She was there in the second one.
The
Yeah.
second one, yeah.
But she did slap Loki in the second one, so I don't. Mind
Which that was
too
a...
much.
Whenever Loki just gets hit around in the beginning was a good time. I say beginning relative like where we are in the MCU.
Yeah.
Because he's kind of likable in Ragnarok. I mean, he has his redemption arc. Whoops.
Ish. Yeah, no, but like Thor, I will say this outright. Thor is one of my least favorite MCU movies.
Thor 1 was not great.
It's just like I think
Thor 2 was not
Thor,
great.
Iron Man 2, and Thor: The Dark World are like for me like the bottom of the barrel. Like,
And I kind of agree with you. Despite me, I really wanted to like Dark World just because, I mean, that one it actually did wow, words do not work today. Norse mythology.
you know
where
what
it's
sucks is that a Game of Thrones director was directing Thor 2.
Right, and it's like, I don't know. How do you write a god to be good? I guess you put him into space and make him fight with a bunch of aliens.
Yeah, I mean, like I understand the concept in
like-
the first Thor movies, like remove the hammer, remove his powers, make him learn how to be, like find himself first, like find out who he is first, and then
give him
fight.
godhood
Then when
again.
he's worthy, give him his powers back, right?
Well, then they invalidate that in the third one, where the hammer gets destroyed and now he still has his godhood.
Exactly.
Right, so it's like, what the hell's with this first one then? I kind of feel like part of Ragnarok was retconning the first one, kind of showing like, hey, dumbass, you.
Like in the first one, he's
It's all in your
Thor,
head.
Lord of Hammers.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, a lot of it I feel like is maybe just that they're trying to show that it's all in his head.
Yeah.
Like he's still kind of like egotistical, and he thinks that being Thor is having Mjolnir. Oh, excuse me. And so when they take away the hammer, they, oh, by the way, it's pie time on Pie Day.
Hey.
Not to date this video or anything. When they take away his hammer, like he's stuck in his head, right? He thinks, I am Thor, and this is my weapon. It's the source of my powers. Oh, they took that away. I am just a human, right? And he's got that mental block. And the first movie's kind of like letting him get over that.
Yeah.
And then there's that creepy love interest and yada yada
Yeah,
yada.
but
yada, yada.
I feel like the difference in Ragnarok is that he's actually he just went through a traumatic moment. I mean, he just found out his brother is alive. He found out
brother's alive. He has a sister.
His father
His dad
had
died.
just died at that moment. And he was just told, "Oh, by the way, your sister's about to kill us all."
Yes, I mean that's a lot to process in the span of 5 minutes, or half an hour, or depending on whether or not Loki was telling the truth about falling forever.
Also, he also found out that there was a that there are wizards on Earth now, and that he can get unlimited beer.
Which if I were a Norse god, I would want to make best friends with the man that can give me unlimited beer in a glass. Let's be honest, that's pretty great power.
Yeah, but we weren't talking about Thor 2. We're talking about the first one.
But yeah, I mean the first one just like it. I kind of understand what they wanted to do with it, where they wanted to show that he's capable of learning.
Mm-hmm.
But when you make a movie about the god of thunder and then you make him a man, just immortal, no god powers whatsoever, and he has to find himself, that's like great for a rom-com or like a coming of age story, but not for the god of thunder. Right? Like that's not a Thor movie now, it's just some dude who wants to find himself and has an awkward love interest.
So I would say, in Thor, what I did like was we got introduction to Shield, like proper introduction to Shield.
Right.
Um, we got Coulson had a bigger role here than he had in the Iron Man movies. He was in the Iron Man movies, by the way. If I didn't mention that. Um, and I think we got like Hawkeye shown in like 1 minute.
Yeah, like he
Thing.
showed up
Like he's
for
like,
very
oh,
quickly.
there's a guy with a bow and arrow over there, like or a sniper, or whatever.
Yeah.
It's right there. That's it. Like, there's Hawkeye.
That's Hawkeye. That's your
That
introduction.
that basically explains Hawkeye's treatment in the MCU.
I mean, when you have, a man who turns into a unstoppable giant green man, a literal god,
A super
a super
soldier.
soldier with a unbreakable shield, and a man in a, suit of
It-
armor that can make anything happen, the man with a bow kind of gets forgotten,
Yeah, you're right.
right? So it's like, compared to all of that, Hawkeye is kind of, yeah,
See, I think
useless.
that's why I like he's singing like Age of Ultron when he's like, and I am a guy with a bow and arrow fighting an army of robots in a city that's floating in the space alongside these gods. None of this makes sense.
Yeah. So I mean, I kind of understand why they're kind of showing him. There's nothing interesting about the archer who can hit anything from wherever.
Exactly.
Plus, he has like 50 arrows, right?
Yeah.
When you're fighting an army of space robots, you kind of want to bring more than 50 arrows.
Yep, exactly.
Like oh my god, I'm panicking. I've run out of arrows. Well, how many did you bring? Like 12? Why?
Yeah.
But no, that's in
Anyways,
the later ones.
in Thor though, it's like
We're not good about staying.
yeah,
on
we're
track,
not.
Are we?
See, because
Holy shit!
it's not a movie that. Also, I will say one thing that bothers me a lot about the first Thor movie, and this is just because I've seen the other ones later on. It's a small thing, but it bothers me, is their hair.
There.
Like
What?
Loki and Thor's hair. It looks weird. It looks off.
I mean, it's wigs, and it.
No, actually, they don't have wigs in that. Like the first one, I think they both have that natural hair, and it was the later ones that they use wigs.
Okay.
But like, I don't know, the way it looks, it just looks kind of weird, and like, Thor looks like he has no eyebrows.
What? I mean, okay, sure, I guess.
Nitpicking.
I mean, honestly, there's not a lot to say about the first Thor or about the second Thor. Like the Thor movies just aren't. I want to like them, but they're not super memorable.
Yeah,
like
so
nothing really happens in them. The most important part about the first Thor is that we get a proper introduction to Shield, and
Yep.
I mean the Shield Shield got its own TV show later on, which we're not really. Are we going to talk about the TV show?
No,
Okay, because I haven't watched.
no, we're not. We're not talking anything. It was just the movies, by the way. We're not talking TV shows because there's way too many of them. I've only watched one to completion.
All right.
No,
so,
we're like,
fair enough.
yeah. So
Um,
there's just too much to process in that front.
Right. What's
But yeah,
after
so that was Thor. After Thor, now we reach the end, the last movie before the Avengers.
Captain
That is
America?
Captain America, the first Avenger.
Which hint. Next one is gonna be big, or at least we're bringing the Avengers in.
Yeah.
Which was a good. I will say I like of all the Phase 1 movies. I think I liked Captain America the best because it was basically a World War II movie but with superheroes. I love that idea. Now the whole he's an awkward teenager who doesn't quite understand what fondue is got a little bit boring or annoying, whatever you want to call it. But I mean, when you get down to it, it was a World War II movie with superheroes. What more can you ask for?
Yeah.
Plus, we saw Howard Stark kicking ass, or at least being a smart, snarky genius.
No, you're right. No, I'll tell you what. Captain America, the first Avenger, is like my second favorite pre-Avengers movie. Behind Iron Man. Iron Man I think is just the best. But I loved Captain America. Like I went into watching Captain America, hating it, because it was about Captain America.
Ooh, bold move.
I'm not American, so like a movie about a superhero that basically says America's the best, yeah, America, yeah.
I mean, he wasn't even like that at all.
Well, no, but like you
I mean, even in like past iterations, he's never been America. He's always been do the right thing, bitch. Or I'm a pimp slap you with a shield if you don't do the right thing. That's what he's always been about. It's just be
Yeah.
good,
I had just moved to
not
America,
necessarily
guys. Got me some
America.
I had just moved to America. Anything
So
that was just said like, oh, that was like overtly too like.
So what you're saying is that you were being the fuck, what's the word? God damn it.
Racist?
Racist, stereotypical. That's what I'm trying to go for.
Yes, I
you were
was.
being stereotypical.
I was being stereotypical. And then I went into the movie, and then I walked out and I was like, this was really, really good. I really liked this.
All right.
I mean, yeah. I went in wanting to hate it, and I walked out basically loving it. It's like I think that's impressive. I think that's very impressive for a movie to do. I really like Steve Rogers. I think it's funny seeing like skinny Steve being towered by Bucky, and now bearded Steve is like way taller and bigger than Bucky,
which is fantastic. Also, the skinny Steve to buff Steve transformation, like that's what every man wants in his
basically.
Life, right?
Yeah. Also,
just to get buffed by getting random crap injected into him.
Peggy Carter's reaction was like, "Oh, can I touch it?"
Wow.
Just like,
also, how bad do you feel? How like, what happened to the actor that played Skinny Steve?
I think it was just like a bottle double. Like they used the face was.
I mean that was Chris.
That was Chris Evans.
Evans, right?
I was going through the Chris's.
Which one of the Chris's is that? There's what, like 3-4 Chris's in the MCU now?
Yeah, there's 3, and then there's a Chris in the DC universe that everybody likes too. So it's like
right, it's just too many Chris's.
Yeah,
but yeah, no, it's like how bad do you think like that guy was? He was there for 15 minutes in one movie. Like that guy must feel like shit. Like, hey, we need a skinny dude. Yeah, I'll do it.
You know what's funny? I could have played that part. I'm too tall though, so yeah, probably wouldn't work.
You need to be short and skinny. Like, there's not a lot of guys like that.
I knew some friends in high school that were like that. That could fit that criteria.
I mean, they probably had to get a high schooler for that.
Yeah, probably. But I love the setting. I love the character. I love Peggy Carter. I think she's like the one love interest in the MCU that I actually care about.
Well, because she's also not like. She actually kicks ass, and she's got like her own thing going on. She's not just there to. She's not just there to be a love interest. She actually does her own stuff.
Exactly. Although from the moment he gets abs, she becomes.
She then becomes, for a moment, she becomes the love interest.
Yeah.
But I mean,
yeah,
it's kind of expected.
Yeah.
A dude, or if someone suddenly becomes hot, everyone will go, "Whoa." Let's be honest. You and I would do the same thing if a chick went into the tube and came out, banging 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Like, that's just the reaction that people have when someone becomes, when suddenly hot.
I would say, I found it very interesting that they did the thing where instead of putting Steve Rogers into the battlefield, they put him as propaganda.
As propaganda.
Even though, like, you just made a super soldier with superhuman strength and speed, and you're dressing him up in tights to tell everyone to join the war effort.
Buy war bonds.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like,
could not use this guy to fight some Nazis.
What was the reasoning for making him propaganda? Do you remember? Or did they just not have any reasoning for it at all? It was just like, yeah, we need a reason for you to be sad. Propaganda guy.
Now that you mentioned it, I don't remember why he was put into propaganda.
But there's no reason for that. It was just, it happened.
It was probably as an effort to keep him secret, so that Hydra wouldn't find out about them having a super soldier. Even though I think a guy escaped with he died. Never mind.
A guy, well, yeah. I mean, so Hydra knew about the program though, because they had a guy in
the spy. Yeah,
the spy was in there. And he got his hands on the formula and then tried to escape with it. So, I mean, Hydra already knew about the Super Soldier program because they had a spy in there. So, I mean, I don't understand why they had to... he was just a dancing monkey for a while. And I don't understand why they did that.
Yeah. No, I know. But It was still good. Like I think overall it ended up being a really good movie. I really like the Red Skull.
Red
Like
Skull was great, but I mean, I'm a little sad that we're not going to see him anymore. Because I'm pretty sure the actor that played him like hated the idea of being in superhero movies.
Hugo Weaving.
Yeah, I think he said that he doesn't want to be in superhero movies anymore, and then he wants to go do quote unquote real movies.
Artist movies.
Yeah, which what has he been in since then? Exactly, not a clue.
Was he?
The guy really should have stuck
Was
around
he in
in
The
this.
Hobbit?
What was his name?
Hugo Weaving. He's one of the elves.
Weaving. Movies.
I think he's, look for Hobbit. No, no Hobbit.
He was in The Hobbit. Yeah.
Okay, he's in The Hobbit. Okay, so he did something.
Cast. Here we go.
Yeah. Okay.
Hugo. Oh. Hold on.
What?
Sidetrack, real quick. So you know from. Crap. What's the guy's name? The first antagonist in Black Panther. What's his name? The guy that stole
Michael B. Jordan.
No, like no, not him. The
Andy
first
Serkis.
antagonist.
Yeah, he was Gollum.
Yeah, he was Gollum.
And
the
Martin
fucking-
Freeman was
I didn't know-
Bilbo Baggins. So they
I didn't know
had.
that Andy Serkis was Gollum.
You didn't know what?
I didn't know that. I didn't know that he was Gollum in The Hobbit.
Also, you sidetrack, complete sidetrack. The MCU has
Hugo Weaving was Elrond, by the way. That Red Skull was Elrond.
okay. So the MCU has Elrond, it has Smaug, it has Gollum, and it has Bilbo Baggins.
What's Bilbo Baggins in the MCU?
CIA Ross. You know the one in Black Panther.
Oh, fuck, you're right, yeah. I don't recognize him as old man. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Also, well, he's not the old man. He's Bilbo from the Hobbit movies.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like
Yeah.
in MCU, the CIA Ross.
Yeah.
Like he compared to Bilbo, he's an old man, gray hair, kind of wrinkly a little
Yeah.
bit. I didn't recognize him as Bilbo.
We also have the Sherlock duo in there, and two Sherlock
Yep.
Holmes.
Yep.
Man, the MCU is huge.
So man, the MCU grabbed two great detectives somehow
Yeah.
who play basically the same character. You know,
One with magic and one with tech.
genius kind of self-centered douchebags. Yeah, fantastic. Both Sherlocks grabbed like that.
Yeah. No, yeah. So,
But
we're saying Captain America.
man, that was
I
a
think
sidetrack.
Yeah, Captain America was great. I loved it. I loved the miniseries of Peggy Carter.
Miniseries, you mean like the little side story that she had?
Yeah, there was like a TV series of Peggy Carter.
There was?
It only ran
Oh,
for 2
shit.
seasons
I
before it got canceled.
Completely missed that then.
Which I was so sad about because like, oh my gosh, it's like the 50s, and you know we have like this like spy angle with like Shield and stuff. So like
Right.
the beginnings of Shield. So like I would love to see that, and it just didn't get anything. So that was sad. But aside from that, I really like Captain America, and at the very end of that movie, it's funny, the after credit sequence for the Captain America was not a ooh look Avengers. It was here's a trailer for the Avengers. Get hype.
Which I mean, I appreciate that because you know they're they know what people want. Let's put it that way.
Exactly. Also, I appreciate. I will say this, and I will say this several times in several videos. Captain American's like Cap's original like suit, you know, the military suit.
The military, yeah,
Yeah, is way better than his Avenger suit.
yeah.
His Avenger suit looks like a cartoon.
I agree with that. Yeah, I like his original, like the actually looks like it's a kind of armored kind of
Yeah,
suit.
yeah, because I think Coulson said like, "Oh yeah, I pitched in ideas into the suit," and I'm like, "Oh, Coulson, you don't have great taste in
I mean,
superhero fashion."
Who's to say that Coulson's ideas went through? Maybe he was like, "Yeah, let's give him some armor," and they're like, "Let's not. Let's make him look like a fucking cartoon." Who's to say that they actually, you know, took his suggestions?
They don't have an Edna mode, darling.
Edna mode and friend.
That'd be a crossover.
Hey, we are terrible at keeping on track, but we somehow made it through all that.
We made it through all the
in under an hour.
Yeah. So
man, that's.
What do you think of Phase 1?
A lot of it's really forget. Like of all the movies, the only one that I really remember liking was Captain America. Like all the other ones, like you're kind of excused for forgetting about them. Because I mean, Iron Man 1 really, it's the only reason it's important is because it kicked off everything.
Yeah.
Iron Man 2, the Hulk, Thor was just it wasn't even a Thor movie. It was a man trying to find himself and having it was a rom-com with a dude who happens to be an ex-Norse god, and then he becomes a Norse god
and
again.
Explaining how like magic is just technology that's too advanced for humans.
Yeah, so I mean it's like,
and then we get actual magic later on.
Later we get actual magic. So, well, what's the technology behind that? Magic. Ooh. So it's like none of like all that is just like everything else you can you don't really need to worry about it. Like the important things from Phase 1 were Captain America and Avengers.
Basically. Well, so, Iron Man, Captain America, and Avengers. I would argue that.
Iron Man 1 just because it kind of started everything. But like there's nothing in there that's like super necessary to understand for the later stuff. Right?
I think
like the important things are Stark's no longer in weapons, Stain is dead.
I know it sets up the character Tony Stark really well. So by the time you get to like a Civil War, you can see the contrast of like how much he has changed.
You kind of, but like I would argue that Avengers does a better job of getting his character set up. Because in that we kind of see how because in Iron Man 1 we see how he interacts with himself and with Pepper, right? Mm-hmm. That we see like the internal and the intimate struggle of Tony Stark.
Yeah.
In Avengers we get I'm supposed to be part of a team, but I'm still a bit of an asshole, Tony Stark.
Yeah.
And I would argue that's more important than than just solo Tony Stark.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, right? Like, I wouldn't blame anybody for like if you were to skip all of Phase 1 and just start off with the Avengers, you'll be set. Like, because I think Avengers does a good job at like telling you here's who Iron Man is, here's who Thor is, here's Captain America, here's the Hulk. Got it? Okay, sure. Just
keep going. I mean, like I said, honestly, that's all that would be.
Also, Captain America introduced Tesseract, first Infinity Stone,
which was. I mean, like I said, everything else you can kind of like. I don't remember a whole lot from any of these movies except for Captain America and Avengers, because like nothing really happens. Mm-hmm. They don't go out of their way to set up anything. Whoop, bumped the mic. They don't go out of their way to set anything up for the future, except for in Captain America where they introduce the Infinity Stone. Yeah. And some of the after credit sequences where they hint towards the Avengers program.
Yeah, it was basically all like it was all leading up to the Avengers.
Like everything else in Phase 1 was kind of except for Avengers and Captain America.
Now, to be fair though,
those are the only ones that actually had an impact on the MCU.
There is a simplicity though in just setting up to this one thing and not looking beyond that,
which I'm fine with. But I wish that they had set up for the Avengers in Iron Man and in Hulk. Right? Yeah. Like, we get introduced to the idea of the Avengers in the after credits of Iron Man. Yeah. We get introduced to General Ross in Hulk.
Yeah, we're to the idea of like crossover happening.
We get introduced to S.H.I.E.L.D. in Thor. And then Captain America gives us Captain America, obviously, and the Infinity Stone.
The MacGuffin for
the MacGuffin for the next movie.
For the next movie.
Right. And then the next movie is like, hey, your brother is doing a thing with the MacGuffin. Go stop him. Yeah. Right? Like, that's the important part from all the movies.
Yeah, like, you need to get, like, something from each one. It's like, they're all connected. Thor's brother is going to be the new villain. Is going to be the villain for the Avengers. And the plot device for the Captain America movie is going to be used in the next thing. Oh, and Iron Man, because he's our most popular character, he's going to be the star of the movie.
Right, yeah. So it's like, for Phase 1, you can watch Captain America and Avengers. Honestly, you could probably just watch Avengers.
Watch Avengers, yeah.
It's like that'll wrap up everything in Phase 1 for you pretty well. Speaking of, next time, Avengers!
Yes! Only the Avengers.
Only Avengers. So that one's going to be short.
Yeah, that was going to be a lot shorter, but I think we have plenty to talk about regarding the Avengers. We have a lot more to talk about,
but we're definitely not going to go for 50 minutes on that one.
Exactly.
There's no way we're going to fill up 50 minutes on one movie. Unless we talk about the entire movie bit by bit, which we're not going to do.
So like in minute 37, right? 37 and then 10 seconds.
I'm gonna stop you right there because I'm gonna save you some work. Otherwise, this is gonna go for an hour if we keep these jokes up.
You're right.
So I'm gonna cut this here, save you some work, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.